Welcome to part 2 of my little autumn junk journal. If you've missed how we have arrived at this stage here, please see part 1 linked below this video first. So this has completely dried in the meantime. I let it dry overnight. And the only thing I've done since part 1 is to gently separate these layers to make sure that none of these are stuck down. But I did that after it had dried. So now I want to give this a little bit of a more magical autumnal feeling. And the way I want to achieve that is by using gold paint. Surprise, surprise. So I have my Van Gogh Deep Gold 803 watercolor here, and I'm going to take a paintbrush and go over probably most of the edges of all the little scraps and our papers. Okay, so I added the gold obviously to the front, you've seen that. I've added it to the back as well. And to the insides, I've decided now I'm only adding it to all the edges of all of my layers, but I did not add it to these little pieces that came out of the circle. Because I think there should be a difference between the cover and the inside. I do love that all the edges are golden. I think that looks really nice and elegantly autumnal. So now I want to add some more to the cover. So this is one of the pages from the Autumn Memories kit from the Digital Collage Club. I will link that kit obviously for you below. And I really like this image right here. And I think this might be a really cute one to add here to our cover. I think that adds to the magic. So I'm just going to cut this out. That works. So then I'll just add some glue around here. And to enhance this a little bit, I printed the same page again and I mounted it on some cardstock. And I also distressed these with walnut stain. So I want to add these exactly on top of the other wings because I want this to be more dimensional and I wanted the wings to come out. I'm just thinking whether I should also edge them with gold. I could add some embossing. That might look really cool. The logical thing to use would be gold embossing powder, but I kind of want to stray from what's logical and try this black sparkly embossing powder. This one is from Hero Arts. It's called Black Sparkle and it's really, really gorgeous. So I want to edge the butterfly with that. So I'm going to do that by using my embossing pen. If you don't have one of those and you just have an embossing stamp pad, you can also take this and just go around the edges with this. That would work as well. It's not as easy, but it's doable. And I'm just going to use the pen and I'm just going to go around the edges. Never tried that before. So I'm super curious. I think this is going to look pretty dramatic. I love how it has some of this sparkle on the wings as well. You can see it here, I think. I added a small piece of foam tape on the back. And now I'm placing them exactly over the image of the other wings. And I love it. And then I'm going to bring out my bling treasure box. And I want to add some of these rhinestones here to make it even more magical. I don't want to go crazy, but let's see what happens. I think the yellow on yellow is good because it's not so in your face, but it is definitely something to notice. Oh, it's hard to see it in the camera. So it's definitely noticeable. Maybe we add a color, which is not here at all yet. How about this light blue? This is like my beloved speckled egg color. So there I have my combination, my warm yellow and my light blue. I love it. Let's see, do we do the top ones in the same blue or do we do them in yellow? No, that's too much. Let's try yellow ones in the middle. Yep, that's better. And maybe we could also add some of these yellow ones on some of these scrap pieces. So I've glued some down to some of the scrap pieces as well. I'm really loving how magical this is looking. And one more thing I want to try is I have this golden, very thin wire. And I want to see if I could wrap this around the butterfly. That might be a fun effect. Like underneath. I don't know how I'm going to secure it yet. But let's first see if this will work at all. Maybe I'll like make sort of a knot. Okay, so I kind of like just tied it like a thread with a single knot. I'll just wrap the end around. Okay, and now I'll just keep wrapping loosely because of course I want the wire to be seen. Okay, then I'll cut it off. Then I need to tuck the end in. Maybe I can manage to tuck it in under my double-sided tape. Like that. Looks almost silver on camera, but it's definitely gold. I'll insert a photo of it here of a close-up so that you can see what it actually looks like. And then I might want to add some more butterflies. These are from the Digital Collage Club Butterfly World Clip Art and Ephemera Collection Part 2. They come a lot bigger than this, and there's so many of them. I will show you how I got them to this size. So I'm on the Digital Collage Club site, and when you scroll down on the right here, you have this quick finder. I'm going to click on butterflies. And it's currently on the bottom of the first page, Butterfly World Clip Art and Ephemera Collection Part 2. So there you see, it's really a lot of butterflies. So I've already downloaded it. So there are 16 pages in total. And I chose this one. And this one. I'm holding down the Command key on my Apple keyboard. I'm not sure which one that would be on the Windows keyboard. And then this one, which is the blue one. So I've selected these three, and then I'm going to just say File Print. And then I'll say selected images in sidebar rather than printing all 16 pages. So now it shows me one of 3 pages. So we have the yellow ones, the beige ones, and the blue ones. And then here where it says preview, I will go to layout and I will tell it that I want to print 4 pages per sheet. So here you see I could print another one here, but I just have the 3 now. But I still thought those would be too large, so I went back to preview, and on the scale here I changed the 23 to 18. Now they're even smaller. And then what I also always like to do is to improve the quality. So I go to media and quality, and my default is here in the middle, the normal, but I like to put it on best quality, and then I say print. So after I had printed those out, I backed them with cardstock again because I wanted them to have a bit of a body. And I fussy cut them, and then I inked them all up with my walnut stain. I think they should be able to go really well on this cover. I don't want to introduce the blue. Let's try it, but I think the blue is too much. I think ooh, actually that looks gorgeous. I'm just thinking the blue might just distract too much from our main focal point, but oh my goodness, they are gorgeous. Oh wow. Okay, just for comparison, let's add some yellow or orange ones. Oh, they are much more subtle. You really have to look for these. It's kind of a different vibe, isn't it? I think I love the contrast of the blue. I would have never thought so. This is really surprising to me. I'll stick with these 3, I think. Wow. And this is just printed on regular copy paper. I have to go with this. And I also just decided I'm going to emboss the edges as well. Or actually, why not emboss all the parts that are black here with that black sparkly embossing powder. Oh, that's going to look nice, I think. So here's what they look like embossed. Super cute. And again, I'm going to add them with my sticky foam tape. And I want them kind of peeking out from underneath. You know what I think what's happening? Maybe if you've seen my vlogs, then you'll know that I have finally my new craft room, and I have my journals displayed and some of my tags and other smaller projects. And I have that in front of me, and I also have the fairy lights in front of me, and I have the feeling that this is inspiring me because that wall of my craft room is so magical to me, especially when the fairy lights are on, that I think that has inspired this cover. So that makes me super happy. Okay, let's look at the back cover. What can we add here? I was looking at this page here, and I wonder maybe I can fit the beauty of fall. I think that might be a nice, like, concluding sentiment. Let's see if it will fit. I actually like that we partially see this very cool mushroom. That would work. And I wonder, to make it look more special, if I could trace the word beauty with my embossing pen to get some of that black sparkly embossing powder on it. We won't know until we try, right? Worst case, I can always print out this page again. So then I'll cut this out. Okay, so then let's work on the inside. Maybe it's better to first think about what to put in the holes. Maybe we don't need something in every hole because it would be cool to see through more than one, you know what I mean? So we definitely need something to cover this up to see through this hole. So maybe let's start with that one. How about this one? I think she's fabulous. The question is, can we place her so that she will be perfect for the hole? So I guess that would be like that. The autumn would be torn off, but it's okay. We would still see it's autumn. And some of this white would be showing. Can we perhaps move her back just a little bit? Yeah, we can do this. And then maybe we can tear off just a little bit of this. I should have made that smaller. Oh, some of the book pages coming along. But thank goodness we have 3 layers. Okay, so hopefully that should be able to cover that. So I'm going to cut this out and then we'll see how, or actually I'll just tear it and hopefully that will work out. Okay, that is going to work beautifully. So I can tear these corners. Okay, I'm going to edge this with walnut stain and then we can glue this down. So I love how we can see her through there. So that means I don't want to add anything to the back side of this, but I will of course add maybe some stenciling or sprays or something to that because that's too plain. And also I need to do something about this here where I tore a bit off, but we'll worry about that later. So that stays. This could in theory stay too because it works perfectly. This here already is covering half of her head. So I'd say it would make sense to add something underneath this one. Let's try a few options. So we have her. I love her. I definitely want to add her somewhere. Would she go here? I guess she would. So that's an option. And we have this owl. She would be good too, except we would have part of this here showing. So if I would use her, I would probably cut her out. We have this cool fox. That would also look super cool. I'll keep that one in mind. We have this cute bear. Oh, he would be really good as well. We have this girl with a pumpkin. I think she's a bit big, maybe? No, actually she would work. Yeah. And we have these mushrooms. And we have this cute bunny. Yeah, he would also be adorable. Decisions. But actually, I like this fox the best. Super cool. Okay, I'm going to do that one. So I will again tear around him. Oh no, I tore too much. I could still put this one behind. Okay, then this one here actually works again perfectly. It's not covering the head, so maybe we'll just leave that. And then for this one, let's pick out another image. Maybe this would be a good one for her, because this way we can see more of the dog, I think, a little bit. Yeah, she's awesome. I think it's better if I mark approximately where this hole goes to so that I know where to tear. That should make my life a bit easier. I think that helps a lot. Now I know much better where to tear. Again, this one works. This one would in theory as well, but let's think about that. We definitely need to cover this one up. I think I want to try this one here that says October. I think that would be a nice like inside cover page. So again, I'm going to tear around this as closely as I can. Then under this one here, I will add the mushrooms. So now we have an image under every second window. Is that enough? What we could do is for the one like in between to add some more butterflies. Maybe just the 2 here. And I'll just add some glue underneath the middle. We need something here as well. I want to see what it would look like if I would add some of this gold wire underneath our hole. So let's take our butterflies off again, trying to just thread it underneath these scraps that came out of the hole. So I'm just twisting the end around the other part of the wire, and then I will try to hide that underneath one of those paper flaps. And then we'll just continue wrapping this around. And I'll cut it off. And then again, I'll try to wrap this around. I like it. Do you see that? Okay, and then let's add our butterflies on top. Oh, you know what I think I'll do to make sure that that stays in place? I'll just glue down these paper pieces. I'll just hold that down with a little clothespin. And maybe one more, maybe up here because it's easier to pin down. And one more down here, I think, as well. In the meantime, let's do our butterflies. So in the meantime, all of this has dried. So my wire is now secured by 1, 2, and 3 scraps that are glued down. So that's going to be fine. And then I had another idea. And although I didn't want to put papers behind all of these holes, I did come up with something that I wanted to add here. So remember I showed you the owl, and I want to add this owl behind. And as I said, it doesn't really work as it is because I don't want just the part of that script showing. So I'm going to fussy cut her, and then we'll add something else here to the hole. I have her cut out, and I was thinking I could just add her to this background. That would be large enough, but I just had another idea. She is just big enough, she or he, I'm not sure, that we could just glue her, no, I'm saying her, I don't know, on like this. So at the 2 ears and the tail and the branch, so that we don't have to add any background, because that would be pretty cool as well. But in order to do that, I need to back her with some cardstock, and then I need to think about how to make the back look good as well, because then I would not be covering this. I found this cardstock, which I think goes pretty well with the colors we have here, so I'm going to back her onto this. Then I'm going to ink her up in the front and the back with walnut stain. So she's going to go in here like this. But before I glue her in, I want to add something down here. I have these feathers. They are not owl feathers, I don't think, but I still think they will look good. And I can kind of just like tuck them in here where I have this fold. I have a tear here and a fold. And I can just glue them behind like this. So like that. I'm using my 3-in-1 glue. Then let's glue down the owl. And this needs to dry again now. And now I'm thinking, what if we add some feathers to the back here as well? Because I think that might look interesting from the front when we have the feathers peeking out from the owl. Like that. Let's see what that would look like. Oh yeah, that would look really cool actually. And then maybe we can cover this bit here with the stems with another image. And I'm breaking the shaft so that it will lay more flat. How about this little mouse here? She could basically sleep in this bed of feathers. So I'm going to mount her first on some cardstock and then cut her out. Then we need to cover up this one, and I will try that using this page here. So again, I'm just going to tear an oval. As we can see, we have some white showing on the sides, but we can easily put something over that. We could use washi or another part of a digital or part of a magazine page. There's so many options. I think I'm going to go with fabric. Lace would be another option as well. I think this fabric might be cute. So I'm going to cut 2 strips of that. I'm going to use my pinking shears. And one more for over here. I think that works nice with the colors that we have here. On this one, I'm going to add some plain coffee dyed paper for some more writing space. So I'm going to trace this, and then I know I need to tear within that. Again, I've inked it up with walnut stain. And I'm going to keep this plain because I like having a place for the eye to rest, because there's so much to look at that it's really nice to have a calm page. I'll do the same thing for this one. Then I want to add some stenciling. I'm going to be doing this with sprays. If you don't have sprays, you can also do it with distress oxides or inks and a makeup brush. But the sprays give a more intense look. You can of course also do it with acrylic paint and a sponge or a brush and go through your stencil like that. I'm going to use my favorite grunge mask, Studio Light. SLGR mask 16. I believe at the time of filming, Studio Light themselves don't have this stencil in stock at the moment. So the site is www.studiolight.nl. They are a Dutch company, but I believe you can still find this on other websites. So just search for Studio Light Grunge Mask SLGR Mask 16 and you should be able to find a shop within your area that has this stencil. I'm going to use the Distress Oxide Spray Frayed Burlap. Yes, I said it correctly. I will cover this up, but I think I will add some here as well because I do need to cover this up too, but I will start with this side here. I'm wearing gloves for this and I have had this laying on its side for a while and I have also shaken it up to make sure the pigment is everywhere. And I also have some packaging paper next to me where I can just put the excess spray for some fabulous collage fodder. Let's add some over here as well. I want this kind of blending into the image here. So I want it to go over the edge of my paper. That's good. And I will also add some here. Yeah, perfect. I'm going to leave it at that. On this page here, I first want to get rid of the white of the back sides of the butterflies. So I'm going to take my Distressed Oxide Vintage Photo and go over those. I should have thought about that before I glued them down. That would have been a lot easier. I still have this white edge because I can't get to that with my little dauber. So I'm going to try to add some water here and then hopefully that will run into that white part. Yeah, that kind of did the trick. For this side, I'm going to use my Forest Moss Distress Oxide Spray. A little more over here. Yep, happy with that. For this page, I want to try some gold. I have this Eye Zinc Dye Spray by Seth After. It's called Gold Mine. I don't have a link for this as I was gifted this. This is not showing up as well as I thought it would, so I think I'm going to add a darker spray to this. So I quickly dried this with my heat gun and I'm going to try this Eye Zinc spray in Coffee. That should be a lot darker. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. I actually love the mixture of the gold and the brown. That looks really cool. I think I want to add a little bit here around the edge and also here just to make it all cohesive. I'll add some braid burlap to this one. And then I'll add some more forest moss here. And a little bit up here and here. I've added a few more things and I will show you a flip through of the completed journal now. So maybe you can see here already, I added some more stenciling over the spine here and here. This is again the braid burlap. I didn't do anything else to the cover. I added 2 wooden birds here and I sprayed it with the gold spray. I think this is my favorite page with the holes in between. I added 3 rhinestones here just to give it a little bit more of an oomph. I added some stenciling here, but not with the spray. I used my walnut stain distress oxide and one of these makeup brushes because I wanted more control over where exactly it goes. And I also kind of wanted a little bit of a softer look. And then I added this here, which I just cut out from the kit as well. I didn't add anything on this page. Here I added the Fall Delight, which is also from the kit. And I added some fabric underneath that, which is the same fabric that I added on this page here. On this fox page, I added some flowers, which were white originally, and I first sprayed them with gold, and then I added some more gold on top, just by painting it on with my Van Gogh watercolor. Again, I added some stenciling around here, using the brush and walnut stain. I didn't do anything here. And that's it. Didn't do anything to the back either. You can find all the links with the discount codes below, as well as the information about the kits I used. Love you guys.
Mwah, mwah.